So this is like a special implementation of the circle of fifth inside Bitwig Studio, inside the note grid. And we have this window here, which is basically this note grid here down on the left corner. And this one is on this track here, on the first track, on the polysynth. After this, we have an arpeggiator here and a polysynth playing the notes, and some reverbs and some delay. So this one spits out chords. This is the main function of this thing. And I laid out all the chords here inside the circle. And if you know the piano, if you can play the piano, then this is for you, like, you know, piece of cake. This is beginner stuff. But a lot of people can't actually play the piano, and they don't know how the relationships are between the chords. And I think this is a pretty nice use case for the grid here to show off what you can do, or what you could do if it actually implemented some better user interface things. So what I'm going for here is trigger buttons. If you push these trigger buttons, it spits out a chord, and it holds this chord until you hit kill or you hit another note. So when I push here the A minor, plays an A minor chord. If you want to stop, you just press kill. We don't have actually no button with a push and hold state. We only have a button that you can switch on and switch off. Or you have trigger button here, which just sends out the pulse, which is okay. But I think this is the best implementation for that. Just push, and then it holds the chord, and then you press another chord or another. If you want to stop, you just press kill, and then it stops. So it spits out chords from the circle of fifth. And how this is laid out here is basically super simple. All these chords are just a fifth apart. So A minor is just 7 semitones apart from E minor. It's just 7 semitones apart from B minor. And you have on the outside, the yellow triggers are only minor chords. So yeah, you can play all the minor chords here. And inside you have all the major chords. And if you disable the 7th and the add 9, you have just basic tritones. You can also disable bass 1 and bass 2, which are just the root note 1 octave lower and 2 octaves lower. And so now we just play only super simple tritones. So the root, the 3rd, and the 5th. Easy. And if you want to add some bass, then you activate enable your bass 1. So it's one bass note. If you actually disable the arpeggiator, you can hear its basic chords. Bass 2 is a second bass. You can see here -2 octaves. So you have another lower note spitting out from this device here. Then we have the 7th here, so we can add, I think it's 11 or 10 semitones up from the root note, depending on which kind of chord type you play, minor or major. And you can also add 9 here, or add 9. It makes it a bit more lush. Activate this here, it's maybe better. So you can choose a lot of options here. We also have a wrap option, which means like everything is centered around C3, or kind of tries to keep the notes within the C3 and C4 note range within this octave. So you get also, if you exceed this octave, you get kind of inversion of these chords automatically. And it's super nice and easy to play. You can also disable this if you don't want to have this. And it's a nice device to actually spit out a nice chord progression that's not diatonic. So you can play, of course, diatonic chords. You have to go in a special path through the cycle here. But it's much easier to just play some notes that are, or some chords that are close together. So this one here sounds always good with this one, but you can also skip one step. So from here to here. Okay, so you can also skip sometimes just 1/5 step, and you can also switch between minor and major chords at every time. Yes, you can say you go from here, instead to here, you go to here, and then you go back to minor, back to major, and then you go back up in a different path, for instance. And then you are back on your root, in your home chord. So yeah, this kind of works pretty nice. You can also record this to a different instrument track, and I'll show you this at the end of the video. But first I want to show you some shortcomings, because this is obviously a hack here inside the grid. You can see we have a lot of lines here, which are basically, yeah, the cables going through the heart of this chord thing here. It's probably not the best implementation. You could do this probably a lot better with a lot less modules, but I just had, you know, an evening nerding time, and I tried out different bunch of stuff, and then I came up with this implementation. It's probably not the best. It's just straightforward. But yeah, don't look at that. It's basically just, you know, making this one possible. So there are some shortcomings, of course. You can see we have here this circle on the left side and this one on the right side. So every time you open the note grid here, Bitwig basically tries to find the middle position of all these modules. So it throws you in the middle of this here, and you have to scroll to the interface, basically, which is, yeah, I can't change this. This is basically a Bitwig thing. Also, when you bring this back here into the main view, you can't obviously do something in here. Maybe you want to start record, or you want to activate something and want to switch back to this one here. You always land in this viewpoint. You always have to scroll to this. So what I did most of the times is activate here the single window, or this extended window, this pop-up. And the problem here is that you can't disable this area here. It's always here. At least I haven't found a way to disable this. But in this pop-up view, you can kind of position this kind of here in this area, and then you can switch here between different tracks, record something, right? And do your thing. But here's another problem. If you actually enable the browser, like you click on this plus button here, obviously this window is going away. And if you go back, it switches back to this center view here, which is unfortunate, but I can't change it really. It's a Bitwig thing, right? Maybe they change this in the future, or maybe we get some kind of special interface view where we can lay out your different things and hide away some of these mechanics here, but I don't know. Maybe we get this, maybe we don't get this at all, but would be nice. Okay, so now that we have this here, we can record something by adding an instrument track here, and just grab from the polysynth here after the circle of fifth here the input, enable this, and then we can hit record. then we go back to A minor here. So yeah, you can see we can record this here. We have a lot of different chords here. And maybe we start here and end here. So we can bring this down here and can use the notes we just created here. And then it loops. So I think this would be much better with some interface changes here in Bitwig, but for now it still works pretty great, I think, to spit out some chords in the with the circle of fifth tool here. Like I said, all these chords here that are close together sound nice or well together. You can also skip some steps. You can skip steps and then go to major here or to minor back. So there are a lot of different paths through the circle, and you can experiment with this a lot just by clicking around and finding your path through the circle, finding new nice chord progressions, and also just maybe record everything inside your clip and just, you know, click around, and then when you find new nice progressions, then you just cut it out here from your note clips and then use it in your tracks, for instance, right? So this is available on my Patreon. I think it's available on some higher level tier, but it's not more expensive than probably $5. And I probably also add here also some more of these chord shapes. We only have 7th and at 9. Maybe I do also suspended and augmented things in here. But the more you add, basically, the more complex it gets while you're playing. And I really enjoy the simplicity of this here by just clicking these things and spitting out some regular chord shapes. You can still go in here and make some adjustments to some of these notes, make maybe a suspended or augmented chord out of this, or maybe add another note on top. But for now, I think it's a great tool to actually spit out some chord progressions. Okay. So yeah, if you're interested in this preset, then you can find the download link below. It's on my Patreon. I think it's, yeah, like I mentioned, it's some of the lower tiers, probably $5 or something. And also, I get, when I post something like this on YouTube, a lot of comments from people saying, yeah, why do we need this? And if you just learn the piano to play, then you don't need this at all. And yeah, I get this. If you can't play the piano, then this is, like I said, piece of cake. This is like beginner stuff. But for me, it's like fun to do these kind of devices in Bitwig, trying to figure out what's possible to do inside the grid. Also having small little presets that are easy to use for beginners. And also for me, it's super easy just to click these buttons and spit out some good harmonic chord progressions that you can later on change if you want to. It's super easy, and I don't need the piano to play this. Actually, you can use it on a laptop without a piano at all. You just click the buttons and you have chord progressions, and you can also jam a little bit with the rhythm and find a nice rhythm for the chord progression. So why not do it? It's fun to do. Okay, so that's it for this video. Subscribe to the channel, leave a like if you like the video, comment if you have some questions. You can also join my Discord and ask me if you have problems with this, or if you have some, I don't know, feature requests or something like that. Then yeah, you can do that too. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.